Yo, what's going on, everybody? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Let's get it. Hope everybody had a great weekend, first and foremost. Let's go. It's good, everybody. We got Michelle, Reese, Lorik, Sherman. It's good, fam. Pablo, Brian, Colleen. Okay. Shane, Pascal, Steadfast, my dog, man, Precise, Raya. Who else we got here? Money Ford, Bobby. Nathan was good, man. Reese, Andrew, G Squared. Let's go, man. Starting off tonight with a freaking bang, my boy. They freaking bang. Caught a beautiful short on gold off this 4100. Literal zero drawdown. Straight to our target. Locked in over $2,500 a contract on that trade. Pretty crazy, man. First trade of the week was an absolute monster on this gold. That was beautiful. Continuous growth. Let me check and see what is going on here. What's your name on there? Continuous growth. What is your name? This is a pretty decent reclaim on gold. NQ. We're going to talk about this chart in a second, but there is a lot of opportunity here, guys. Big gap up tonight, so we can look for obviously that demand hold for longs, or we can look for that gap fill lower. A lot of opportunity on this chart. Colleen. I'm about to say that name did not look familiar. What's good, Kenny? Same thing. I can't even find you on YouTube. I'm not going to lie. At contend. Yeah, you're not even showing up at all. Participants. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I don't see you here. Are you yeah, I don't know. Let me go check the back end thing real quick. How am I? I'm doing better. Doing good, man. As good as I can. Yeah, I don't know. Continuous growth. I tried. Alrighty, you guys. You guys know the vibes, man. Let's get straight into it. I'm going to have an absolute great night tonight, as always. This trading week's probably going to be the biggest week of the Q4 here. Easily the biggest week of Q4. Hands down. We got big heavy hitters reporting earnings. FOMC. It is a lot to cover. And with that being said, man, let's get right into it. Let's do it. First things first here, as always, welcome in, everybody. For anybody that's new here, welcome. For anybody that attends regularly, I appreciate all of you guys, man. Seriously. As always, we're going to start off with the economic calendar here. And then since we got a big earnings week, we'll hop into the earnings docket, and then we'll get into the watch list, all right? Is NQ going to fill the gap? Possibly. That is a possibility. But here we go, guys. We are going into Monday, October 27th. Here on Monday, we have durable good orders at 8:30, followed by new home sales at 10 a.m. Tuesday, October 28th, we have consumer confidence, and that will be at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Biggest day of the week here will be Wednesday. October 29th, we have FOMC at 2 p.m. and then the press conference with J-Pow at 2:30. This is the big market mover here, along with those earnings. Thursday, October 30th, we have GDP, 8:30, PCE, 8:30. Friday, October 31st, we have PCE again at 8:30, followed by PMI at 9:45. The theme of this week is data, data, data. Monday to Friday, we're in the thick of it, right? And on top of that, let's go over here and talk about this earnings lineup. We are smack dead in the middle of a massive earnings season, and there's a lot to talk about here. Look at this beautiful calendar, right? And you guys know I love weeks like this, and it's for a valid reason. I'm going to highlight each of these names that are important, that have value to us as day traders. Sophie, there's potential there. PayPal, UPS, EMPH, Visa, BA, CAT, Etsy, Meta, Microsoft, Google, even Chipotle. Heavy hitter, important, little side watch, fun one to trade. Let's do a quick count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So we have almost 20 names we could trade this week. So here we have 19 potential A+ setups. Does anybody know why? These are the weeks where money is made, okay? Whether that's through data volatility or it's those post-earnings setup. Now, my question for you guys, let's see who pays attention over the years. Why do I get so excited, or why do I look forward to these big earnings weeks or earnings season in general? Who remembers? Yes, perfect. I almost forgot. MicroStrategy. So we really have 20, right? Yeah, we have a solid 20. A solid 20 potential A+ setups. Now, let's say we only get 5, right? Only 5 give us an actual setup. That is still great, right? Even if we only get, 2 or 3, that's still great, right? That's an A+ setup. And those A+ setups, we can afford more risk because of the quality, right? Whether it's a gap up, we can look for that pullback for longs or the continuation, gap down, pop to short, or continuation lower. When a catalyst is moving a name, that increases the confidence behind that drive, right? That's a drive for that move. So it increases confidence for us as traders, and it increases a conviction in the actual setup when you have a motivating factor behind it. So when we have a week like this is something to be excited about, right? We have 20 different reasons to be excited here on top of the important data, okay? So this is a huge week, right? Not just, for these setups, but names like Amazon, Meta, Microsoft, Apple, even Coin, right? These are big market movers, specifically these big tech names here, right? If we can get these on the same page, maybe Meta bullish, Microsoft bullish, Google bullish, Amazon bearish, Apple bullish, right? If we can get majority of these names on the same page, whether it's bullish or bearish, guess what the market's going to do? It's going to go through the roof, or we're going to see an absolute massive pullback. So not only is this great for setups for us to trade, it's also great for the overall market sentiment to have that driving factor behind it, having a solid catalyst, whether it's those big tech names in terms of earnings or that data, right? So we got a very eventful week ahead of us, a lot to look forward to, and let's go ahead and hop into these charts here, okay? Let's get it. First things first, as always, NQ. I mean, there's not really much to talk about in this monthly chart, right? I mean, we haven't even had a red month since, what is that? March? It's been pretty much vertical, right? So we know we're extremely bullish. That's inevitable. Weekly chart, I mean, bullish, right? Maintaining these higher highs, higher lows. Not much to say about that. But at this point, right, my mindset is the higher we go, the worse this gets, because now we're just unhealthy bullish. Like, this is not healthy anymore, right? Like a one candle pullback on the weekly, that's not acceptable, right? We need a sustainable pullback, something that looks like this, right? Where people can actually partake in a pullback and create a leg higher. This little snap and go, snap and go, snap and go, snap and go. What happens is we end up getting that massive red day that looks like that, or red week, and ends up wiping out this whole move here. So the higher we go without no pullback, it's just making it worse for us in the long run, right? So I mean, yeah, we're bullish, right? We can say that, but I mean, look at this daily chart. How could you be bullish looking at this? Look at the significance of this bearish divergence. That is probably the most exaggerated bearish divergence I've seen in a while. Higher high, higher high, higher high, high, lower high, lower high. I mean, how can you be mega bullish looking at this chart? It's hard, right? Like, it's hard. Even, you know, you got into the 4 hour, same thing. Hourly, same thing. And, you know, tonight, we gapped up heavily, right? So if you want to talk about the chart structure, I mean, this week, it's simple as 25,400, 25,360. Well, now you're going to say felony. We're sitting at 25,700. That's a 300-point move. Well, yeah, there's going to be value there, right? And the big levels we need to watch this week are obviously that big demand, okay? That's the line in the sand. If we're above 25,400, we are ultimately bullish, right? We're looking for that deeper pullback, hold for longs, right? That's the obvious setup. But there is value before that, and there's value here right now as we're looking at this chart. It's the bottom of this gap. And it's also the top of the gap, right? Whether we pull back, break 25,700, reclaim, that's the A+ long entry tonight back into these overnight highs. Conversely, if we pull back, lose 25,700, we have an A+ short setup for this gap fill back down in 25,570. So there's going to be a lot of value this week, right? As long as we move. And levels are clear as day. So in my opinion, the only level you need to really watch is that 25,700 and that 25,400, right? Those are kind of your references here. And as always, I like to keep you guys prepared. If we lose 25,400, I think that's when that real sustained downside will come into play. But as long as we're above it, we're technically still bullish here, okay? So keep that in mind. ES, pretty much identical chart, right? Across the board here. Beautiful bearish divergence on the weekly. Monthly also has that bearish divergence. Daily, extremely exaggerated bearish divergence. So, you know, we're getting those signs of a potential reversal, but price action is just saying otherwise, right? Tonight on ES, we gapped up into 6,900. We all know that's a major psychological level based off of its point, right? Now, what I want to talk about is, same thing as NQ. This is the only thing we need to be focused on here. 6,800. So these are essentially our parameters here this week, right? We have 6,900 and we have 6,800. We have the low of this gap tonight at 68.65. The obvious setup here is a pullback into 6,800 for longs. That's the A+ long setup, right? We all know that. But there is value into that setup, okay? There is. And that's what I want to talk about now. Same thing as NQ. Bottom of this structure here. Structure, right? So what we're looking for is a break of 68.65, reclaim for longs into 6,900. Or we're looking for that break and hold below to go short for that gap fill lower. So big level you want to watch tonight and tomorrow is that 68.65, okay? Also, that's 6,900, all right? And there's going to be value here, without doubt. We're not going to sit up here for long, right? I wouldn't be surprised to see that gap get filled tonight into tomorrow or us continue higher, right? It's going to happen. It's inevitable. RTY, chart's not as clean, but we're still bullish here. Big levels you want to focus on, 25.15, 25.60, right? Ultimately, I think we probably pull back, fill that gap, watch for that demand hold, or watch for that move above all-time highs for continuation, all right? If we lose that 25.15, this is a chart you do not want to be long on. YM, I mean, this chart's clear as day, right? We just cleared that major resistance, 47,325. That's your focus point, right? You're looking for that pullback and that hold for longs, or you're simply just looking for continuation. If we lose 47,325, guess what's going to happen? We're going to see lower. So keep that on watch. Your big level here is that 47,325. Silver, finally getting a little pullback here. I don't really love anything immediately here, but the levels are clear. So I do want to talk about this really quick because I do think there can be a lot of value here under these conditions, which is 49.2, 46.7, right? Watch for that pop and fade here for shorts, or watch that breakdown for continuation. And also, if we reclaim this structure after holding that demand above 49.2, this is likely going to squeeze higher. So we have a beautiful drop base here, and you guys know what can come of that, which is that drop base rally, or we can have that drop base drop. So this is something to keep on watch, and I'm going to set my alert here and here. That way I can't miss it. Next we have gold, and it's an identical chart, right? We have a drop, we have a base. So what I'm watching here is essentially a pop back into the top of this base for a rejection, or continuation below that 40.25 for lower, right? That's the obvious setup here. But I'm also keeping an eye on a reclaim, right? We hold this demand, higher low, and we end up breaking back above 4,200. We're going to squeeze, guys. Okay, so your big levels here on gold is 4,200 and 40.25. Obviously, there's a lot of value in between. That's a 200-point range, but that's what I'm watching right there on gold. Immediate setups, 40.60, 41.50. Next we have oil. I mean, this could be a generational long setup. I feel like I'm a little late here, but we held that demand. If we can get back above that 63, there could be a nice opportunity. Platinum, I mean, this is mega bullish, right? I missed that swing entry, sadly, off that break and retest. I mean, look at this chart. Major demand hold, higher low. If platinum can reclaim 16.25, this is going to squeeze a lot higher. So this is worthy of keeping it on a watch into this week's session back into like 1670, all right? Now, let's get into the fun stuff here. You guys are going to notice that my watch list is super short today, and you know why, right? Damn near 90% of the names that we usually trade are reporting earnings, right? So we kind of are stuck focusing on QQQ and SPY this week, which I pretty much do anyway, right? I pretty much do that anyway. But as you can see, majority of the names we trade, Meta, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Apple, right? Majority of the names we trade are reporting earnings. So we can't really do much there, right? You don't want to trade those names pre-earnings. You want to trade them post-earnings. Because as you guys know, when we have those big earnings weeks, right? Or data weeks in general, right? Like FOMC, IV inflates in itself off FOMC. Plus we have these big tech names reporting. IV is going to be skyrocketing. So I'm probably going to stay away from the option side a lot this week. And I would encourage you to do the same, right? We'll focus a lot on futures. We have a lot of catalyst, right? And especially with these names reporting after hours, right? Guess what, right? For us that trade futures, guess what we're going to be doing, right? When Apple reports earning at 4 p.m. and everyone's sitting there looking out the window, Squidward watching Patrick and SpongeBob play, us that trade futures, we're going to be able to partake in that move, right? So if Apple reports we get a big move after hours, we can take advantage of it. So my focus this week is going to be futures, right? Whether it's trading after hours on that earnings release or throughout that night, right? There's a lot of value on these charts, and you guys can backtest this yourself. Over 85% of the time, the biggest moves in the market happen after hours or pre-market. So, I mean, that was a big portion of why I started trading futures. I was tired of missing it, right? Like, you have a big gap up one day, and guess what? The market consolidates the New York session, but then you have a move like this that was overnight that you could have traded, right? You shouldn't limit yourself to certain trading hours when you can essentially expand your horizon, right? Like, why would you limit yourself to just trading New York, right? If you're a trader and you have a system, if that system comes into play, say for example tonight on gold, right? I'm not going to say them out, but I'm up very nice here, right? And if I didn't trade futures, that wouldn't have happened, right? Like, why not take an A+ setup if it's there? Like, if you don't trade futures, I mean, obviously I'm not saying drop everything for futures, right? But it's another vehicle you can use, right? Trading is a vehicle we all use to obtain that freedom that we love, but you can't limit yourself, right? I trade equity, I trade options, I trade futures, I trade crypto, right? You guys know I'm an avid crypto person, and I have been for years, right? I have a massive Bitcoin portfolio, Ethereum, right? I have a little bit of Doge, Solana, right? Like, you can't just limit yourself, right? And I feel like that's where a lot of you guys go wrong, is focusing on just options, which are great, but I'm not gonna lie, you're not gonna get to where you want to be just trading options. I didn't get to where I needed to be until I started trading futures. I'm just gonna be honest, right? I would never be able to put up the numbers I do now if it wasn't for futures, let alone prop firms, right? You can't compete with trading multiple accounts at one time. Like, if you trade options and you make $100 on the day, Guess what? That's $100. You trade futures, you make $100, but that's on 5 accounts. Guess what? That's now $500. You can't compete with that, especially when that risk is so low. You're risking, let's say, $500 to make $100 of your own personal capital, but on a futures account, you're only risking really 20 to maybe $100 max. So anything outside of that is insane, right? Like when it comes to just actual risk reward, opportunity leveraged, it's a no-brainer, right? And I wish I wasn't so naive years ago. And that's one my one big regret as a trader was not trading futures earlier, right? So I'm trying to wake you guys up and help you guys realize, and I don't want anything from you. You don't have to use my code. You don't have to use anything, but just do what's right for yourself. And yeah, taking control of your trading. Let's get it, man. Here we go. Let's go over these individual names. Number one, you got AMD here. I mean, this chart is self-explanatory, right? This is a chart that we've pretty much been hawking. Wanted to swing long here, 225. I missed that entry. But that breakout above 242 on Friday was nuts. And you guys can see the significance of this level, right? This was a major resistance. Now it's a support. So what we're watching for is that pullback, 242, 244 for a demand bounce, or that break and hold above all-time highs at 255 for continuation higher. This is the A+ setup this week. As long as AMD is above 242, this is the A+ long setup this week. Write it down. Don't forget it. Netflix, opposite end of the spectrum here, right? We have all-time highs, lower high, massive structure break, extremely high volume closure on that breakdown of that structure. Next level is way lower. This is a beautiful chart for shorts, right? Look at the significance of this structure Netflix just broke after that earnings move, which was a catalyst for that move lower. So this is my top short watch here. What I'm watching is a push back into 1130, 1150 area for a rejection, where I'm looking for that breakdown under Friday's low for a move into 1180 and ultimately targeting this 1160. Okay, that's the top watch here on Netflix. That popped to short or that continuation lower. Nvidia, a name that also has been very strong, not as strong as AMD in terms of semis, but you know, you could argue this is a weekly bull flag, right? We have our higher low, fresh higher low, very strong pin bar here throughout the weekly. Got that daily double bottom, reclaim a structure on Friday session. This chart's bullish, right? And this chart is bullish as long as we are above 183, 185. So that's going to be our top watch here on Nvidia. Pull back into 185, 183 for a demand bounce, or we're simply just looking for that continuation above Friday's highs at 187.50 back into 190, ultimately targeting those all-time highs again up here at 195 and that big 200 psych level up there. So that's the game plan on Nvidia. Very simple. Above 183, 185, we are indeed bullish. Tesla. I'm not very fond of this Tesla chart, right? I do like this weekly bull flag. We can all see that's there. You could argue it's a cup and handle, whatever, it's bullish. Daily chart's pretty clean, but we're in a range ultimately, right? You guys can see here, we're in a range. Tesla has been ping-ponging bottom, top, bottom, top, top, bottom, bottom, top, right? It's been back and forth, right? And here we are now, kind of in the middle of that range. So I'm not interested in Tesla right here, right? I'm interested in Tesla if we can hold this demand again. I'm interested in Tesla if we can fail this supply again. And most importantly, I'm interested in Tesla if we can get the F out of this range, okay? Above 450, this goes back into 470. Below 415, this goes down into 400, okay? That simple, all right? So that's what I'm watching on Tesla. Top of the range, bottom of the range, ultimately wanting that breakout. And it's sad to say, man, but we're done with the watch list, right? We only had 4 names tonight because majority of the names are reporting earnings. But it's super early, so I'll spend some time with you guys. If you guys got some tickers you want me to check out, you guys have a topic you want me to cover, you guys have any questions, right? Whether it's trading related, business related, or something about entrepreneurship, you know, about my car rentals or my lawn care or whatever it may be, right? Feel free to ask it. I'm more than happy to answer. And yeah, man. X messed up my giveaway, so I'm going to go ahead and do that as well. Yeah, man. You guys know the vibes. If you want to live trade us with us this week, I just pinned it at the top. And yeah, man, let's get it. Is there a code there? If not, I'll give you guys a code. How many of you guys are in first step trading? Let's see who is a part of the family here. Put in me. Yeah, I'll create a code for you guys. Alright, when you guys use that at the top. Nice. A lot of FST members in here. Love to see that. Love it, love it, love it. Minties too, yeah, a lot of minties. Yeah, whatever you guys got for me, man. You guys want me to check out a ticker? You guys want me to cover a topic? Questions? Whatever it may be, feel free to ask it. Fun fact, right? If you would have just taken this trade on gold tonight, you could have paid for 2 years inside of First Step Trading. One contract, we were up over $3,000 on. Last week, we caught a $10,000 trade on gold. We went short on gold last week, right here. It caught this whole move lower, which is over $10,000 a contract. No, excuse me, that's the trade that was a separate trade. We made $6,000 on this trade, and then the previous night is where we caught that big breakdown. Yeah. If you would have followed me with just one mini last week, right? Just one mini. You took every trade that I posted in First Step Trading or as a mentee, you would have been up over 30,000. Just one mini. Just one mini. One micro, you would have been up over 3,000. Just one. Do I use prop for options? No. I've traded my whole my own capital, pretty much everything, until the end of 2024. People said I wasn't going to be able to trade props, and I ran up 7 figures in a month. And then they stayed quiet. And the same people that said, you know, I couldn't do it, and I did it, and now they're quiet, said that they were going to do it, and now you haven't heard anything else. And that was months ago. So it's pretty funny, you know. All right, what we got here? You want to check out Hood? Please don't spam. That's all I ask. If you spam, you're more than likely going to get muted, and I don't want you to get muted, so don't spam. Hood. I mean, these are your levels here. I mean, this is a clean chart. I'm not going to lie. These are the only 3 levels I would pay attention to, right? Major demand, 121. Major supply, 140, 150. Get above 140, 150. Very likely see 150 plus again, which is those previous all-time highs. That's kind of your game plan there. It does also look like we could form an inverted head and shoulders. So keep that on watch too, right? If this pulls back into like 125, 120, that could be a good long entry as well. Coin, I don't really want to discuss this too much because it has earnings, but I love this chart. Very bullish. Amazon, I'm not going to discuss it either because it has earnings. We'll talk about them after. So if it has earnings, I'm not going to mention it. SPY we'll cover in the morning because obviously a lot happens overnight. Whatever we cover on SPY right now probably is not going to be valid tomorrow. So do I still trade Apex? Of course. That's the best one to trade in my opinion if you're trading more than 5 accounts. If you're trading less than 5 accounts, Take Profit Trader is the way to go. TSN, I think that's Tyson. That's the chicken nugget company. What the hell are you trying to trade this for? Okay, I see. There's a big demand here. If it comes a little bit lower, this could be a legendary swing. If TSN comes down to like 43, 45, which is a demand from back in 2014, holy fuck. If it pulls back into this demand here, this definitely could be a nice swing trade for sure. For sure. PDD, thoughts on Bookmap? Distraction. But if it works for you, it works for you. PDD, I would say there's a big resistance here, like 136.60. So if we can get above that, I mean, this has room back into like 150s. So it could be a good long setup. Path, I got you. What is this? UI path? Interesting. I mean, this is a clean chart. I can't lie. Very liquid. Big demand here, 15. Big supply here, Friday's high, 17. I would say if we get above that 17, we could trade back into these highs. So that could be a nice long setup for sure. All right, I'll do 2 more. PLTR. Oh, wow. This looks great. Beautiful bull flag here, right below all-time highs. Bullish engulfing on the weekly. I mean, I wouldn't touch PLTR from here to here, but if it breaks out, you know, above 190, this is going to go to 200 plus easily. Also, on the upside, if we lose 173, this is going to go a lot lower. So those are your parameters there on PLTR. Netflix I already covered. Pretty much just watching a pop the short here off this supply, which is 1130, 1150. Watching for that pop the short, or looking for that continuation below Friday's lows. VIX futures. How do I mark my levels? I have like a 5-pillar system that I go by, and yeah, so you know it's just a system that I use. But yeah, man. All right, let's go ahead and get into the giveaway. Then we'll spend some more time together. Bro, there's almost 600 people on YouTube and it's 143 likes. You guys know, I don't ask for anything, right? I don't ask you to donate to me, right? Meanwhile, other people sit there and ask for donations the whole stream just to give it back. I give money out of my own pocket and I don't ask for anything in return. That is the saddest part about other streamers, I'm not gonna lie. Other streamers will literally ask their community for subs and donations just so they can give it back to them. Like that to me is like the ultimate disrespect. You know what I mean? Like, how is that acceptable? Am I wrong for thinking that? Let's have a little talk. Am I wrong for thinking that? I feel like if I asked you guys for money just to give it back to you, like, what the fuck? That's like robbing Peter to pay Paul. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand it. It just doesn't make sense. Like, hey, yeah, donate to me and I'll give it back to you at the end of the month. Like, people fail to realize, right? Like, and this is the thing, because I don't post everything, right? I don't. You guys know that. I don't post everything. I've been doing these lives for 6 years, and every Sunday I give away money. I've given away well over multiple 6 figures between mentorships, trading setups, cash, iPads, mentorships, everything in between. I mean, you guys got to think, I've been doing this for 6 years. Right? I just don't talk about it, right? Because I do it out of the kindness of my heart. I don't do it to say, hey, I did it. Right? Like, it's pretty crazy. That shit blows my mind. Like, even like stuff on a day-to-day basis, like people who pull out a phone when they do something nice, to me, that just discredits everything that you're doing. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not doing it out of the kindness of your heart, then why do it? Right? If you're doing it for a couple likes, that's the wrong reason. Because at the end of the day, that is not going to sit well where it really matters. Right? All right, let's get it. You guys know the vibes, man. First things first, we'll keep it turbo. Keyword is turbo. You guys know the vibes, man. On top of that, I live traded for free for almost 2 years. Right? 2 years. That in itself is crazy. Good luck, everybody. I gotta fix this fucking X giveaway, man. Grok isn't working. Let me go pick one manually. Alright, we'll give it... Where's my trusty dusty timer? 10 seconds. Good luck, everybody. Three, two, one. Bing bong. Let's go. John Oliveros 9632. I can't wait for Kick to get back to me. YouTube it's not doing what it needs to do. Please type here, John. Here. To me, that just tells me you're spamming turbo and you could be a bot. So you got to type here. Yeah, see, you just keep spamming. If you spam 2 more times, you're done. I'm going to go ahead and press this X button. Alright, there we go. I'm good to go. Please don't spam. That's all I ask. Yo, that's me. Well, I'd hope so. Congratulations, my boy. Alright. We'll do one more for good luck. Then I got to figure out how to do this X one. We'll do a quick Q&A before I hop off. Next keyword is going to be FST. Good luck, everybody. Sorry, my S is all fucked up. Ooh, I'm very excited for this week, man. This week is going to be huge. Huge. Oh, hello. Gold is coming back into play here. Gold is coming back into play. Might be able to get us a nice short here on gold momentarily. Back below that 4,100. Back below that 4,100. All right. Where's our little trusty dusty timer? 10 seconds. Good luck, everybody. I can't even see the YouTube chat. Bro, I'm so sick of YouTube, it's not even funny. Fix your fucking platform, YouTube. Oh, shit. Good luck, everybody. My bad. I got sidetracked trying to fix the chat. Alec Crosby. Looks like a familiar name. I'm pretty sure this person's running before. Nice. 8 seconds. Let's go. Love to see it. Quick, fast, in a hurry. Let's go, my boy. Good stuff. All right. Any last minute questions? Whatever it may be, man. Trading, non-traded, whatever it may be. Feel free to ask it. Winners, John, Alec. Be sure to check the pinned message so you can get your money. And yeah, man. Malik, continuous growth. I will see you guys in a few minutes. I'll go ahead and set that up and we'll get that rocking as well. If you guys want to know what prop firms that I use, here you go. Take Profit Trader is the main one. Tradeify is also a great one. And Apex is my favorite. Code Felony works at all of them. You guys know the vibes, man. My gold rationale? Sure. So right now, right, we obviously have a big drop, right? We're below this major 4,200 supply, and we're continuing to make lower highs below that 4,200 supply. So as long as we're below that 4,200, with that big displacement here, this to me is bearish, right? We're not making new lows. We have a low, we have a higher low, we have a higher low, and we're not making new highs, creating those lower highs. This would be considered, you know, a pennant. And eventually a big move's going to come of this. And based off of the context, that would be lower as long as we're below 4,200. So anything below 4,100, which is kind of that median for this range, I'm comfortable shorting down into the lower portion of this range, ultimately targeting that big demand down here at 39.20. Now, what would shift this chart for me is if we continue to make higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, reclaim and break that structure, I no longer will be looking for shorts on gold. But since this is still intact, I am comfortable shorting gold. If you go down to a lower time frame, you can see what I'm talking about. Supply rejection, lower high, a high that we just swept, right? We took out that high, attempted to go higher, we failed, made a lower high, back below 4,100. So anything below 4,100 for me is great for lower. And in this case, we could use this stop as our high. But what I want to see right now is I want to see another pop. I want to see another pop, lower high, lose 4,100. That's going to be my entry, okay? So long as we remain below 4,112, pop, lower high, I will go short. So I'll update this in the chat as always. And yeah, man, you guys know the vibes. Let me get to these questions real quick. What platform do I use to trade futures? Tradeivate. What makes you better than so many day traders that fail? I mean, I'm not better than anybody. I'm no different than anyone. I eat like you guys do. I sleep like you guys do. What separates me from everyone else is I didn't give up, right? I had the drive. I had the determination. I had the will to keep going, right? That's the only difference. Also, obviously, the experience factor. I have a lot more experience than I would say probably 90% of you guys are really 90% of a lot of traders that you see on social media, right? I'm going on 7 years. I've been through the ringer and back. So, trading, that's a big portion of trading, right? Is knowing what to do, when to do it, and why you're doing it. And knowing what to do when you're put in certain situations, because the market is ultimately repetitive, right? Not repetitive in a sense of, hey, I know how to calculate the next move, I know how to predict, but repetitive in the sense I've seen this before, I know what to do. I like to relate it to fighting, right? Everybody knows how to fight until they get punched in the mouth. You know who knows how to react when they get punched in the mouth? A fighter. You know why? Because they trained for it. So same thing with trading, right? You just got to know what to do when you're put in those situations, because trading is a high stress, career, right? Where it involves a ton of emotion, and which, naturally as human, that's what we feel is emotion, and you have to remove what you naturally are supposed to feel, which makes it, so hard, right? But I'm not better than anybody. I just put in the work that others didn't want to do. Am I any real estate? Yeah, of course. Real estate's always a good idea, but the best idea is buying stocks and crypto on a dip. That is the best idea, and that always will be. Always will be. All right, let's see what we got here. Hold on, let me see. Eval passer, shit, we got plenty this week. We can do an eval passer for FOMC. We could do an eval passer for the speech at 2:30. We could do an eval passer on Friday, right? We could do an eval passer for Apple earnings. We could do an eval passer for Amazon, Google, Meta. We should have a solid 5-10 different eval passers this week. So definitely grab you a couple accounts. We'll be able to get it done for sure. I could pretty much, I can't say what I'm about to say because I'll get in trouble, but we have a great chance this week of passing. It's not 100%, but with all those earnings and all those data points, I can damn near say, hey, we're gonna pass one of them, right? What would you say is the most important thing to learn for someone trying to transition to futures from options? Everything's like structurally the same, right? It's fundamentally the same, right? The only thing that is different is there's no Greek, so it's less stress in terms of managing positions because you have that freedom of not worrying about that complicating factor that's working against you. So I wouldn't say there's anything that you need to learn outside of the fact that you cannot scale into futures as you do with options, but outside of that, it's relatively the same fundamentally, like structurally they're the same. Real estate, always a good idea. Which books have impacted my trading the most? Trading in the Zone for sure. Reading Price Charts by Bar. That's a tough read, but that's a great book. The Best Loser Wins. Those are like the 3 foundational books that every trader should read for sure. You can expand out, but in my opinion, every trader should read at least 2 out of the 3, if not all 3, for sure. Sale going on with Apex right now. Yeah. Run it up, man. I'll help you guys pass. Code Felony works on Apex, Take Profit Trader. Apex right now has a vicious 80% off. If I were you guys, I said it before, I would buy a couple accounts while the Apex sale is going on. Have one that you trade by yourself. Have one that you trade solely with me in terms of signals I post, and then get another one or another 2 to use as eval passers. So that way you have your own dedicated account that you take your own trades to learn with low risk but a high reward. You have the account you trade with me that you can trade, obviously pass, and then you can use that to get a payout through me. And then the other one you can use as an eval passer and then use that how you would like. But yeah, that's what I would do personally. If I were you guys and I had the opportunity that you guys have, I would take advantage of it by doing exactly what I just said. How do you find the ATR? Go to indicators, type in ATR. It'll pull up the average true range and it's going to show you. This little number right here. So right now it's 7.4 on gold. So that means any given 5-minute candle on gold, you can make or lose about $700 on a mini. On a micro, that would be $70. So that means the ATR is 7. Any given candle, it's moving about $7, okay? Which is very helpful in terms of taking profit, knowing where your stop is, just price action in general. And the ATR is essentially insight on how that stock is moving, which is vital to us as traders. The next mentorship, I'm not sure. I probably won't do one for 2025. And I say that because I have the refresher coming up. So anybody who took the mentorship, last year, the year before, every year I do a refresher, right? So if you take the mentorship, let's say in the beginning of January, you'll be able to take it again at the end of January. So, once you become a mentee, you get to take the mentorship every year. So I tend to block it off at the end of the year so I could do the refresher, which is coming up very soon. The RSI is what I noticed the bearish divergence on, which is when the stock makes a higher high and the RSI makes a lower high. A bullish divergence would be, hey, when the stock makes a lower low and the RSI makes a higher low. That's the opposite, obviously. What do I enjoy doing outside of trading? Shit, man. Hanging with family, riding my bike, my motorcycle, fucking with my cars, the gym, traveling, just good energy, good vibes, being around, good people. That's pretty much it, man. Staying away from the bullshit. Just focus on me, myself, and I. And of course, my little one. That's the priority for me. Gold, yeah, I mean, this is a good entry here below this 4,100. So what you would be looking for now, this could be the short on gold, right? We just rejected that structure. This is exactly what I was talking about. We want a lower high below that previous high. So if we close weak here on gold, yes, short it. Your stop is 41.12. There's about 4 minutes left on this candle. I have to rock out, so I'll update it in the chat with an official signal if I do take it, and we'll go from there, all right? Do I do meetups? Yeah, for mentees. We did one like 2 years ago. I haven't got one to do one this year, but we'll run it into 2026 for sure. I'll do one for FST as well. But yeah, man. Again, I appreciate every single one of you guys for taking time out of your Sunday to come kick it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this, took notes, prepared for the week ahead. I'll see majority of you guys tomorrow for live trading, as always. You guys are the vibes, man. You guys enjoy the rest of your night. Manifesting a bright green week for everyone. And yeah, man, let's have a kick-ass week. Let's keep the momentum going. Started off strong with this gold trade. That was absolutely beautiful. Going into the week with a nice cushion. Can never go wrong with that. And yeah, man, I'll catch you guys in the morning. Peace, everybody.